ignored it because I didn't feel scared when I saw it. I actually felt comfort. I was just alone in my own little world with this man following me around. Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you about my paranormal experience with my best friend Mackenzie. So a little bit over a year ago, so in October of last year, I had been seeing a man in an orange. All I saw was like a silhouette in orange. There were a few times that I can think of directly. One time was, well, a few times was on my way to my best friend Kenzie's house. She's been on a few videos of mine and a vlog. She also has a channel. But anyway, so on my way to my friend Kenzie's house, I would see a silhouette of a man, and he was wearing orange, and he wasn't too old, but he wasn't young either. Like, I couldn't really tell how old he was, and I don't know, I just saw him every now and then. There was one time I was driving, and I looked in my rearview mirror just for like a split second, just to like check. And I saw him, and it wasn't like it's not like I could see an actual person sitting in my back seat. It was more of a silhouette and orange. I mean, I believe in the paranormal. I believe in God and Jesus, and I definitely believe there is a world that shouldn't be messed with. But I wasn't messing with it. It was coming to me on its own, so that was really freaking me out. But I just ignored it because I didn't feel scared when I saw it. I actually felt comfort. That sounds really weird. But yeah, I felt really comforted when I saw it. It didn't really bother me too much. And so I just didn't really think anything of it. But as time went on, I still saw this figure, and I had no idea what it was, who it was, or why it was there, or if I was just seeing things and I was just acting crazy. So I decided to tell Mackenzie, and when I told her what was going on, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're seeing spirits, you're a medium, that's so cool." And I was like, no, don't say that, I don't want that, I'm seeing this figure and I don't know who it is. And she's like, "Okay, well, guess what?" And I had no idea what she was going to say. Her and I have always been into scary movies. We watch them all the time, and her and I are very into that kind of stuff. We've never experimented with it. We've always been curious and wondered, but we've never experimented with the spirit world. But she told me she had these spirit rods at her house that she had used before with her mom and some of her friends at a cemetery type place, and they worked. But she just wasn't 100% sure how well they would work with me, since my house isn't haunted. It's not like a place where that is known to be haunted, so she's like, "I don't know how that's gonna work." So we were at my house when she was telling me this. So, and then while I was telling her what was going on, we heard this bang downstairs, this loud bang, and we were the only two people home except for my dog, and my dog was with us. So we heard this loud bang, and I thought that it was our pots and pans, because we have this thing that hooks to the wall that our pots and pans hang on to. So I thought maybe one of them wasn't on all the way and must have fallen. So I went downstairs to see what was going on, and nothing had fallen, nothing was out of place. I even checked our pantry to see if anything fell off the wall in there, and nothing had fallen off the wall in there either. So both of us were really confused and kind of freaked out. So when she told me about the spirit rods, I was like, "Oh, those are kind of interesting, maybe we should try that sometime." And she's like, "Well, I know where they're at my house." And I just kind of looked at her, and she looked at me, and we'd had this crazy moment of, okay, let's try it. And I didn't have a car at the time, and she didn't have her license. So we walked all the way down to her house, which is only a few blocks away, so not too far, but it takes a good 15 minutes to get there and back. And my mom is totally against Ouija boards, spirit rods. She doesn't even like scary movies. She doesn't like the thought of spirits being in the home, and she didn't want anything like that could bring spirits into her home. I think she had a bad experience once when she was younger, so she just doesn't want that. I wasn't even allowed to watch the Ouija board movie, so I didn't want to get caught because I didn't know what my parents would say. So we had to hurry because no one was home and I didn't know when people would be getting home. And I had a water polo game that day too. So we had to hurry to go to her house, find these rods, bring them back to my house, use them, see what we could figure out. And then all before my mom got home and I had to go to my water polo game. So we finally get to Kenzie's house. We get the rods. She shows me them. They're these really weird, they seriously are just rods and these little wooden like tube things, and you hold them and then they cross or separate. I asked if he was related to me, and he said yes. Like right away, like the rods just turned right away. Like they didn't cross a little bit, they crossed totally. Once that I had a grandfather who wore an orange hat all the time, but I didn't really think anything of that. And so I asked Kenzie if she wanted to go to a water polo game once my mom got home, and she said yes. So we all get in the car and we're going, and so I start asking my mom some questions that I asked the spirit, and to see if they lined up at all. And I am not kidding you, all the questions that I asked my mom, the spirit answered the same exact questions the same exact way. And so Kenzie is sitting in the back seat. The rods are actually in her bag. She brought the rods with her to my water polo game in Albany, which is a whole like 20-30 minutes away from my house. And I am sitting there almost crying, realizing, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I just talked to my great-grandfather who I have never met before. This was pretty much evidence that I had been being followed and seeing my great-grandfather who I had never met before. So that's my paranormal experience. Hopefully my only one that I ever have ever again, because they're scary. I don't want to have to deal with them. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any video ideas, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next time.